Hello and welcome, my name is Mikkel and today we are going to talk a bit about SEO and its many hats. This is what we are going to talk about. I'm going to present who I am, what SEO is all about, how ranking is determined, you'll receive some practical advice, we'll talk about the hats, and then you will receive some more advice. So, moving on, who am I? Well, my name is Mikkel and I work as account and project manager at MagentoExperten.dk. MagentoExperten is a web agency specializing in customized e-commerce solutions for small to medium-sized enterprises. I also function as SEO specialist and I offer consultancy services for WinkWink and other online businesses. I have a background in corporate communication from Aarhus University. I graduated last year in June, and I generally work with e-commerce and SEO, and I possess a sort of practical experience in optimizing web shops for search engines. Why should you listen to me? Well, I've made many mistakes and I have learned from them, and so by watching this video you will get some hands-on practical experience that I wish I had before starting to work with SEO. So if you're new to this will benefit you a lot. You won't experience many theoretical definitions, just some straightforward SEO advice. So what is SEO? And here's the first definition of SEO. According to the internet, search engine optimization is a methodology of strategies and techniques and tactics used to increase the amount of visitors to a website by obtaining a high ranking placement, and so forth. And you probably knew this already. So what is SEO from my perspective? And why is it that I think it's very important to deal with? So firstly, from my perspective, SEO is marketing. Why? Because in 2016, a corporate website or web shop is the best possible marketing channel of any company, and it should be treated like that, and it's not always done that today. You would be surprised on how many customers I've had at MagentoExperten who refuse to give SEO and conversion optimization any thought at all. They just tell me, well, we want our website to be SEO good. Okay, are you prepared to work for that? No. Okay, then you won't get results. So basically, it's not enough just to order someone or tell someone to fix your site for SEO. If you don't continue the work afterwards, then it's all for nothing anyway. So, but in all seriousness, SEO is super important. And I can't stress this enough. It can go very, very wrong if you don't prioritize your website, and it shows. And here's an example. The infamous case of Vordingborg-Køkkenet. As you can see, at least for the Danish people out there, on rank 3 we have an angry customer who is very dissatisfied with Vordingborg-Køkkenet, and this is not something you want when you're trying to sell something online. So they had this unfortunate customer who has a very bad experience, and this case is infamous for SEO professionals because of the damage it has caused. It was back in 2000 that Vordingborg-Køkkenet had this unfortunate customer, and you can still find that website online. Just try to Google Vordingborg-Køkkenet and you will see it yourself. It's terrible, terrible. But why did this happen for Vordingborg-Køkkenet? I'll tell you why. 1. SEO was not prioritized, and thus Google saw Vordingborg-Køkkenet's own site as weak compared to the customers. And the wrong customer knew about websites, he knew about links and SEO, and thus he quickly gained some salience in the searches for Vordingborg because what he had was relevant content to that specific keyword. 3. When on page 1, the customer made use of very salient call to action, which made customers click on that instead of the Vordingborg kitchen, thus improving his ranking even more. More clicks, higher click-through rate equals higher quality store equals better position. And that's why you will still find it today, even though it's 16 years ago that the customer was wronged. So how is this ranking system determined by Google? Well, bots, pandas, and penguins. That's how it's determined. The Google bot crawls your site, and then it applies a certain number of algorithms to see whether or not your content is relevant for the searches out there. And these algorithms are relatively new, and they are basically what makes or breaks a site today. So, for instance, the Panda algorithm, it hates bad content. So you need to have original content and don't copy other shit. That's basically how it is. Second, the Penguin. The Penguin hates bad links. So if you are buying links that are coming from bad sources, like something we call link farms, then you will be penalized. Even though they may, by name, they may not sound dangerous, but you need to fear and respect these algorithms at all times, because they can and they will destroy you if it is warranted. We also have something called the Hummingbird. Now, the Hummingbird is not as such, well, it is an algorithm, but basically it's more a general overhaul of how Google search works. It looks at searches as with a more intellect. It identifies exactly what users are looking for when they use Google search. That could be when you write a question, then it's able to answer your question with search results, basically. So the Hummingbird is very interesting, and everything about these algorithms, there's so much material on these algorithms, and if I were to talk to you about this in length, then, well, we would be here forever. So I can only encourage you to read up on these algorithms because it's very relevant for SEO. Now, you're probably wondering, how can I then deal with everything when there are these angry algorithms of pandas and penguins that are trying to kill me? Well, what you can do is be reassured by this quote. Google's goal is to deliver answers to people who are searching. If you can produce content that answers these people's questions, then you're on the right track. So if you have that in mind and stay original, then you will be fine. So here are some practical SEO advice that I wish I had known before I started working with SEO. But it's just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more information out there, and SEO is a field that's constantly evolving. So what I give you today for practical advice might in 5 years be totally redundant. Just saying. But you can use it today, that's for sure. Here's what I call my basic workflow for SEO. You can use it as ever you like. Number 1. When working with SEO, it's important to do some proper research. You can use analytics for this, and you can use the keyword planner for this. These are free, available tools from Google that you cannot live without. Now, when you have identified your winners, and by winners I mean relevant keywords that you have found in the keyword planner that have a bunch of searches there's a bunch of traffic associated to. When you choose these, then you create content based on these. So make sure you have relevant content on your site that relates to these keywords you would like to be associated with. So one very important thing, don't plagiarize. Second, do create some exciting original content. Now, it's also important that you make sure you have a good link structure on your site. And by link structure, I mean on-site link building. And on-site link building is when you link to relevant content from within your site to your own site. This creates a structure that indicates to the Google bot that your site is great, it's full of information that's relevant, and especially if you use sort of relevant anchor text to your links. And anchor text is the text where it says click here, for instance. But instead of click here, I want you to write what it is the link is about. For instance, read more about SEO tactics, or see our great coffee making machines, or whatever, something like that. So it's not just click here, because that doesn't really add value. Now 6, Use relevant forums, blogs, media, or partner sites to create a credible link to your site. This is off-site link building, where you draw on the value of other sites that have relevant information about what it is you do, and then they link to you, and thus you get some good link value from that. Link building is sort of tricky, and it's very difficult because people know that links are worth something now. So link building is a continuous process, and it takes time and it is tedious, but the value is so amazing, so you should definitely invest time in this. 7. Repeat and do over. Yeah, just do it again. Forever and ever. Because keywords change and people's searches change. So you can't always expect the same keyword to have the same value the first month compared to the second month. So it will always change. Now, it's all about text when working with SEO. You should always write good titles and page descriptions. And to me, I found from studying and working with SEO that page titles should be at least 30 characters. At least. So, there's something to work by. And page descriptions should be between 110 and 150 characters. Did I just say title should be at least 30? I meant 30 characters, sorry. And also when you write content, try to have at least one relevant link, either on-site or off-site, for every page you have content, for every 300 words that you use in the main text body. You don't want to spam links, because that has the opposite effect, also from a user experience perspective. Now, here's some good ones. Don't spam keywords, it won't work. Don't plagiarize. Do write appealingly and informatively about a topic, and remember to use call to action. It's very important. Also, find some inspiration in the competition. Check the winners of the market. Make notes of what they are doing. Because if their methods are working, why are you not doing it? So look at the market leaders and then aim to do a bit better than them. For instance, be more descriptive. Found out what they are missing from their side, and then build so you provide a better service, or thus a better search result for a given keyword. So if you're the best in the market, congratulations, but stop kidding yourself. There's always someone out there that does it better than you, and the thing about SEO, you can compete with people that necessarily aren't in your business, if you know what I mean. You can always look for inspiration outside your own market for tactics and methods of doing better in terms of SEO. So also keep track of the relevant blogs and professionals within the search engine area and news, because that's where really all the new tactics and practices and strategies are formed, and the new comments to Google algorithms, and etc, etc. So it's very important that you keep track on the blogs. It's also a great site to get some link juice if you leave a comment and add your link. Also, if you are curious to see what I think is the best, one of the best at least, SEO web shops out there, it's Zalando.dk. Let me just say, I have not worked with Zalando. I would love to work with Zalando because they have some very good SEO in practice on their site. Go check it out. I can highly recommend it. Now let's move on to the hats of SEO. I gotta speed up a bit because it's there's a lot of ground to cover. Here are the hats. We have the white hat, the gray hat, and the black hat. And these hats are named after criminals in westerns. So the white hats are the good guys, the black hats are the bad guys. And then there's the gray guys, who are sort of ill-defined. So let's start from the left. White hat is everything SEO related, SEO tactics, strategies that conforms with the search engine guidelines provided by the search engines themselves. So this is what search engines say you should do in order to conform with their frame of work, basically. So you need to do white hat SEO. Gray hat SEO This is borderline tactics that are ill-defined by search engine guidelines. There's a question here whether or not this is ethical, because some of the tactics are sort of shitty. But the thing about Greyhat SEO, it's not illegal, and it's what really can make the difference in terms of SEO. And then there's Blackhat. That is tactics that goes directly against search engine guidelines, and some of them are downright criminal. It's highly unethical and could potentially be very damaging to your website, because Google will find out and they will penalize you tremendously for this. So, well, don't do Blackhat. You can work within Whitehat and Greyhat. So, here are some confirmed Greyhat SEO techniques. These are safe. First, it's a good idea to redesign your website on a regular basis. Then Googlebot would feel like that it's fresh. And the fresher and more vibrant your site is, the more dynamic it is, the better value Googlebot associates to it. So that's good. It also gets a greater user experience that something happens on your website. Nice. Also, link to yourself whenever you have the chance. And here I'm talking about everything. It could be join your forums, create a profile with a link, and create comments with links that links directly to your site and the content you want to work with. You will see that on lots of forums out there. And most of the people who do the linking are actually SEO professionals. They are curating valuable content, but they're also adding that little link to their website, their blog, whatever, so they can create some link juice. Also, fabricate news stories. It's fine. It's only public relations, right? Yes, you would be surprised of how much bullshit is in online news. And when you start working with SEO, you quickly find out that most news stories are complete and utter bullshit, which is why I don't really trust the news anymore. Because I know that journalists, they don't have time to check up on sources of research anymore. So you can basically just lie about statistics and all that stuff and create a story that fits your agenda for a link. But it works. And unfortunately, this doesn't speak good for the community, but it works. The journalism community, but it works in SEO-wise. Also, charity links, paid links without the penalty, because Google has a different policy regarding charities and linking to companies. So if you can get a charity to link to your website, that would be great. Give a donation that's ample, and you can do some good work and get a good link. Perfect. Also, there's this thing saying that copying from one source is plagiarism. That's downright true. But copying from more than one source is research. If you can find the best blogs out there and copy their content and then just tweak it a little bit, rewrite it so it's original, and then post it, then it's yours. Google won't. The Googlebot would have very much difficulties discerning this. It's a bit shitty, but it works. You can also pay for reviews. This is basically what all these blogospheres is all about. This is their business model. They earn money by providing user reviews or blogger reviews about products, lifestyle choices, etc. So that is something we do all the time. Now, Blackhat SEO methods. And here's a warning. Don't use Blackhat SEO techniques. And I repeat, just don't use Blackhat SEO techniques. I'm not going to show you how to do it, because I think it's cheap and it's sometimes downright criminal. So I don't recommend this, so don't do it. Blackhat practitioners are those who seek a quick and easy fix. And there's no such thing in SEO. It takes time. So if you find someone who promises you the world, you will have rank 1 tomorrow, then go away. Because if you get penalized for Blackhat techniques, it takes a long time to recover, so don't do it. Now, we have something called paid links that our method is used. It's a bit similar to what we talked about for paying for reviews, but paying for links directly where it's not content that drives the traffic. That's highly unethical, but it's difficult to control. That's why Google made these penguin algorithm to check up on the links that come to your website from other sources, because if there's not sort of relevant content associated to it, then it can be a warning thing. So something, how did they acquire this link? Why do they have this link? Etc. etc. Then there's comment spamming. That's just downright stupid. It doesn't work. All spam filters catch up on this, and there's no reason whatsoever to do this. Duplicating content. Now, this is a bit similar to the thing we talked about before, where you copy stuff from other sites and then make it your own. This is where you copy stuff from other sites and just not do anything with it. It's bad, it's unethical, and it's blah. Just don't do it. Article spinning is when you apply software to rewrite on original content. This is very difficult to catch up on, and it's used all the time. But hopefully at some point we will be able to identify the software that does this, and then we don't have to deal with these cheats anymore. Okay, cloaking, when you program your site to show something for the Googlebot, but something completely different for your visitors. Unethical and annoying. Doorway pages are landing pages that are designed to work only for certain keywords and not provide any sort of user experience. So just get ranking, not provide any valuable content. Keyword stuffing. Spam your keywords all over the place. It won't work. It will have the opposite effect. Hidden text are a bit similar to cloaking, but where you sort of a white text and a white background where you can add a bunch of keywords, and then hopefully that will have some effect. But yeah, generally don't use Black Hat SEO. It's not worth it. And some final comments and more SEO advice. What I can say is that it takes a lot to be good at SEO. It's a long and steep learning curve, but personally I think I learned a lot just by doing it, and doing it like white hat SEO. Staying within the confines and then doing it and seeing the results is something you really learn something about. Also, I recommend that you stay up to date with the best practitioners and the blogs out there, because this is where you get all the valuable information regarding algorithms. You will get all the valuable information about new techniques and strategies. This is a real good thing to follow blogs. So when your boss comes in and catches you looking at a blog, just say you're doing research, because essentially that's what you do, and then he will be happy. Okay, and once again, stay clear of Black Hat SEO tactics. I can't stress this enough. It will only be counterproductive and will take a long time to recover from it. Also, avoid duplicate content. Now, duplicate content is something that occurs on every site out there. It is when you have the same content on two different URLs. So Google will find that it's more that you have the same content two places. It's not good. So there's two ways, or there are several ways, but at least two ways that you can combat this. You can use something called canonical tags, which I recommend you read up on. It's a method or a tag that you can use to direct tell the Googlebot that some content on this page actually belongs to this page, so it won't count as duplicate, if you know what I mean. Also, you can use something called the robots.txt file, where you can say to the Googlebot that you shouldn't index this site because, well, there's duplicate content on it, so don't index this site. You should focus on this area. And then, well, basically, you can use that text file to sort of control where you wanna see the Googlebot travel on your site. Also, do use the iterative model of SEO workflow in this presentation, because, well, I find that it works with the research and then choosing your winners, creating original content about them, and then doing it all over again, and keep researching your keywords, keep producing content that is relevant. Also, I would recommend that you start a personal blog just to get used to compiling loads and loads of content that's original writing. And also you can work a bit with SEO modules, SEO plugins, and general CMS systems, so you can get comfortable with writing online. And also it's really fun to have a blog, so I can only recommend it. For new For the new guys out there, use WordPress. For the more experienced, use Joomla. Or if you just like WordPress, use WordPress. WordPress is brilliant. Also, it would be a good idea for you to befriend a good developer. Give him a bottle of wine, a 6-pack, some chips. He will be happy, and you will have a good friend for life that you can call when shit hits the fan on your blog or whatever. It's really nice to have, because sometimes with SEO it can be a bit technical. But let me just stress, SEO is not about having technical knowledge. It's about knowing where to find it and marketing content correctly online. But you do need to know where certain files are and edit them, create a robots.txt file and upload it via FTP to your website, for instance. So in that sense, it's good to have a programmer or developer you can lean on and ask for advice. And now, here are some blogs to follow and books to get. Basically, you can just Google it, you will find it, most certainly. Blogs, I recommend Yoast, SEO blog. They're really good, especially with WordPress SEO and web e-commerce SEO, so do follow them. The Moz blog for SEO, also very relevant, and some of the quotes in this presentation are from the Moz, so do follow them. And of course, Search Engine Land is without a doubt one of the best blogs you can follow, but there are so many blogs out there. Just search SEO blog and you will find some of the best. And as for books and PDFs, a real study book, a big hefty motherfucker, sorry about my language, The Art of SEO by Inge, Spencer and Chichikola, 3rd edition, highly recommended. The Art of SEO, Mastering Search Engine Optimization, it's about 1,000 pages long or something, so it's a big book, but you can use this as to look into as I can't remember what it's called, but when you need like a dictionary, use it as a dictionary, and a dictionary for SEO basically. Now for the Danish people out there who is interested in working with SEO, here's a very important book that I want you to buy right now, because it's the single best book there is on the market for Danish SEO, and that is the ebook SEO List 16 by Thomas Rosenstand. And it is such a good book. It's very expensive, but you need to buy it. That's it. No more comments on that. Search Engine Optimization Starter Guide by Google is a free PDF. Also something you need to read. Now a final note. Do feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. If you have any questions about this presentation, about what I do, who I am, whatever, I will try to answer any questions you might have as soon as possible. Now, if you're looking for relevant experience within the field of e-commerce, social media, AdWords, and SEO, then we are always looking for new talent at my agency. Of course, it's not my agency, but the agency I work in. So please do send me your application and CV to mr@magentaexpert.dk, subject job opportunity. If it is you're interested in a student job, an internship, whatever, a full-time position, we have all sorts of things, many tasks for you to do. I'll be looking forward to hearing from you. And well, that's all I had. Thank you for your attention. I really enjoyed making this video. It was a bit short, but hey, it's difficult within this time frame to create an SEO video that encompasses an introduction to SEO. I hope I did a fine job. If you have questions, do contact me on LinkedIn. Anything else to say? No. Just enjoy your day and stay happy. Bye.